see if I'm actually going live. Yep, now I'm live. Oh, is it not showing a screen? Let me go on YouTube and see what's going on. There it is. Now it's showing it. What's up? Good afternoon. It's Saturday. We back. Crank up this light over here. We is back with something that y'all haven't seen from me in a while. Some artwork. We doing it live. This is my tribute to the late great Akira Toriyama. R.I.P. to the legend. Man, it's been a sad week for a lot of people. And what is on this drawing? The heck is this stuff? These little black dots. The heck is this? That's what happens when you have your artwork just sitting for years, collecting dust and debris. Yeah, like I was saying, this is a sad week for a lot of Dragon Ball fans around the world. On March 1st, Akira Toriyama passed away. I didn't get the news until my mom's birthday, which was March 7th. I thought that was the day that he passed away. But no, he passed away a few days before that. Some of my close friends are really torn up about it. I had a delayed reaction. It affected me the worst today. This morning, looking on social media and seeing all the posts, and it just hit me. It just hit me like a sack of potatoes, and the next thing I know, I was tearing up. I had to think about the impact that this man had on my personal life. And I honestly can say that if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be in the position that I am today. Yeah, I could say that. Because of him, I was able to do this. Just like Goku, the main character of the series, of the manga, of the TV show, of the anime. With every battle he goes into, he gets stronger. He gains more knowledge. He becomes better. And that's the same thing that I did when it came to my art. I would challenge myself. I would use mediums that I was uncomfortable with. And this right here is that. This is a mixed medium illustration of Ultra Instinct Goku. If y'all have been following me when I started this drawing over a year ago, It's been over a year since the last time I put my hand to this drawing, to any drawing. I haven't done any art in over a year. And with that being said, I'm a little scared to tap back into this. I hope that I don't mess it up. I hope I do it justice. But when I started this project, it was to challenge myself to combine multiple mediums to create this piece. Before, I've done color pencils mixed with watercolor, but this was the first time I've ever done paintbrush markers mixed with color pencils. And I didn't know how it was going to come out. This is what we got so far. I still have this section to finish. I had to look at this drawing and stare at it for a while because I'm out of the rhythm, out of the flow of doing it. I was like, I don't know where to come in. Where do I start? And it's the aura around Goku where I have to start with this drawing right now. This has been masked off with this masking fluid that has been sitting and been caked on here for over a year. But I'm going to go ahead and start there, and then we can go ahead and finish the galaxy. And I'm actually glad that I took a step back from doing this piece, because now I'm feeling like this area is incomplete. Like I want it to be darker. It's the galaxy. I want there to be stars in the sky. There's so much more to do to this drawing. It's very incomplete. But every step of the way I have done it right here on YouTube live with you guys. So I'm going to finish it live with you guys. As well as tell some stories about how I got into Dragon Ball and what it really means to me. Again, this is a tribute to the legend himself, Akira Toriyama. I'm about to show you guys the supplies that I'll be using to tackle this drawing today. I need an eraser to fix some of the mistakes that have occurred. Not by me, but just by being a little bit reckless with this drawing and letting dust collect on it and whatnot. But I'll get that shortly. Let me go ahead. Oh, here's an eraser. I don't recommend using pink erasers on artwork. I would only ever recommend using white erasers. So let me go ahead and find a white eraser. Then I'm going to show you guys all the different supplies that I'll be using to tackle this piece today. Thank y'all for hanging out with your boy this evening. Or this afternoon, I should say. Saturday afternoon, man. We in here. I got a movie I want to go catch later on with a buddy of mine called Imaginary. Something that has to do with a haunted teddy bear or something. I don't really know. Almost forgot something. Need those too. Definitely need those. If there's anything in that, I'm also need that. Now, bear with me for a moment. I'm trying to find this eraser. Like I said, I haven't done any artwork in a while. Gotta find my supplies. I done went into this dark closet with the light on, still can't see. Hold on. Use the flashlight on my phone. Couldn't find my artist eraser, but at least I found a white eraser. It's not doing a whole lot to correct the little mistakes, but it's helping a tad bit. All right, now let me go ahead and show you guys the supplies that I'll be using today. Hope y'all are doing good this afternoon. Appreciate you all for hanging out with me. I know we ain't gonna get a whole lot of people in here because some people don't even know what's going on or know that it's me that's live right now. They see an art, they're thinking it's another YouTuber. But here we go. So, which way is this? Yep, Arteza color pencils, the expert edition. Gonna be using these to help bring this image together. It's a 72 pack. It's a bunch of them in here. It's another layer stacked underneath here as well. Heck, I hope all the colors are in here. I think this is yep, there's another layer under that too. So I got all the colors I can want and need right here. And then we gotta have the goat. We gotta have the goat. It's so hard to open. It's like it's been glued together. It's been that long. Gotta have the goat. The Prismacolors. Same thing, triple stack. Tons of colors. What one doesn't have, the other one will. Y'all saw the Posca. I've never used the Posca paint markers before. I've only ever heard or seen good things from these, so I'm super excited to add this to the piece. That would be adding a third. And then we got this little gel pen right here, this white gel. Hopefully it even works. I don't even know if this thing works. Copic for the skin tones. Got the skin tone pack right here. These are phenomenal, phenomenal markers. You can't go wrong with Copic. And then we got the brush markers, the Winsor Newton's brush markers, also the skin tone pack. Another great set. And then we have some Ohuhu brush markers. Crazy pack right here. Crazy pack brush markers. Love these. If you can't afford the Copics, this is a great alternative. They're not as great as the Copics, but they are great for the value that you get. Okay, time to dust the cobwebs off this piece and get back into it. All artists know they gotta have that spare sheet of paper so they can make sure they're getting their colors right. So I got this sheet of paper here that we're gonna be using because right now I got to go through a crazy set of color pencils to find exactly which color that I was using back here for this aura. I don't even know which pencil it was, but I'm assuming based on the texture of it that it was the Prisma color pencils. So let me see. Actually, I think it was the Arteza. Yeah, I feel like this is where we were. All right, so this pencil looked like it's gotten some good use out of it. So I know I was probably using that back in here somewhere. I'm missing some colors in here, which I'm a bit concerned about. But hopefully I'm not missing what I need, or else this thing might be dead in the water before we even get started. All right, I see a pencil here that definitely looks used. That definitely looked like it could be what we were using. Come on now, stop rolling. Okay, none of those look used. No. Okay. Pretty sure. Alright, if this doesn't look like it's the right color, then I'm definitely going to have to pull out the other pencils. Nope, that's not right. That's not correct. Alright, let's see here. I gotta bear with me. It's been a while. It almost feels like this is a learning curve all over again. It's been so long since I've done any artwork. I feel like there might be some spare color pencils sitting around in here somewhere. Just floating around that I could probably use. I might have found the pencil. And maybe my first intuition was correct, that it was in the Prismacolor pack. That might be it right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We back in business. That's the one right there. That is the one and the two. All right. My hands are clean, but still I don't want to get any oils from my hands on the artwork. So I'm going to use this paper to kind of keep the paper clean. All right, let me see what you guys talking about in the chat. I need to look at the chat from my phone because the computer's kind of far away from me right now. Let's see what y'all talking about. Let me see who all is up in here. Sunrise was the first one up in here. What's going on, Sunrise? We got my moderators up in here. Heather, Mandy. What's good with y'all? Thank y'all, ladies, for being here. Dollar Silver in the building. I see you, Brown and Press. What's good with you? Michelle. Leslie, what's good? I see you up in here. Yeah. Kira, I see it. I like that. I like that. She says, I can't wait to see how it turns out. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Rick Raven, what's going on with you? Says, wow, man, that's fantastic. I thank you, brother. I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z was my first anime as well. Yes, son. Yes, sir. All right. Now, I'm ready to get this artwork, this piece on the road. I got to pull up something here before we get started. Let me move some things around on the screen. All right. Now, let's get the ball rolling. I'm nervous, y'all. I'm really, really nervous. I'm looking at this drawing like I have so much to do, so many areas to work on, so many things that I need to make better, mistakes that I've seen that I made before that I actually kind of like. But nonetheless, we're about to get into it. All right. Okay. So starting off with this ore here. So the way that I approached this was that I wanted to mask these areas off, and I hope y'all can see what I'm doing down here. I'm starting down here and I'm gonna work my way up, but I wanted to mask these areas off so that I can get some clean lines. And it's not perfect because this ore is not meant to be perfect. Man, I'm falling right back into this, like, it's almost like I never left. Feels good. Feels real good. I'm just kind of freehanding it a little bit. Just following the masking fluid, tracing around it basically. And then when it's all done, my favorite part is going to be peeling back that masking fluid. Oh man, already, heck yeah. I feel like it's even better than the other side. And luckily, because this is the area that I'm starting with, just tracing around this masking fluid, it gives me the freedom to go a little bit quicker. So it's happening and coming together faster than it originally was the first time around. This is so crazy to be back in here again, back at this drawing. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while. I've been wanting to work on this picture. I think about it all the time, but the way that I am wired when it comes to artwork, I have to be in the mood to do it, or I have to be inspired to do artwork, or else I'm not going to be feeling it. Now, I know it looks a kind of bit different than what's happening over here. It's only because of the masking fluid that's in place right now. So once I remove that dirty, grimy looking masking fluid, it's going to align more so with what we see going on over here on this side. But yeah, like I said, it's been so long since I've worked on this piece or done any artwork at all. And all of my Dragon Ball drawings that I've ever done, Dragon Ball drawings, paintings, any of the illustrations, I've sold them all. I think I want to say one person bought all of them, and I'm not even sure who the guy was. I met up with him every single time I sold the pieces to him. This was on Facebook years ago, many years ago. We're talking 2015s and earlier. Um, and I don't even know. I think somebody that I knew from school probably told him, "Hey, look, I got a friend that I know you're a big Dragon Ball fan. I know a guy that does some artwork, and he sells his pieces. And if you're interested, I could probably get him to sell you one of his pieces." And this piece here was one that I was actually thinking about putting up for auction on eBay when it was all said and done. But that was an idea that I had years ago, or like 2 years ago when I first started on this piece. All right. I see the way I kind of want to do. I'm already seeing some things that I want to do a little bit different with this piece. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me try some stuff out here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Very nice. Perfect. All right. That's cool. So, yeah, I want there to kind of be a blending effect happening here. Or there's like a merge of colors. So let me go ahead and finish up with this color. Then I can come in with this purple. And I actually want to tap back in over here and blend it together better than it is. And do a few other things. I'm already wanting to step back in over here and do some stuff that I know is just going to make this thing look that much more pieced together. That's one of the things about art. Like you might be working on one area, then you want to step in somewhere else and do something. Oh man, I feel like, especially when it comes to me, timing is key to make a piece come together the way you really want it to. Because I'm doing things now that I don't think I would have done before with this picture had I finished it when I started on it. So, as promised, I want to get back into the story, or tell you guys a story about how I first got into Dragon Ball. So for me, it started when I was 9 years old. I was in the 5th grade, and one day I just noticed the kids were going crazy in school about these funny looking characters with sharp, pointy gold hair. And I couldn't understand what it was. I understood that it was anime, but I didn't think that it would be an anime that I would particularly enjoy watching. I remember that. I remember that feeling so vividly. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like that. Their hair is weird. Their hair long as heck for no reason and sharp as heck. Like, are they? What are their superpowers? They poke people's eyes out. Hold on, the stream went black. What's going on? What happened? What the heck happened? Let me see if this is doing that on YouTube. I'm blacked out over here. And I couldn't understand what it was. I understood that it was anime, but I didn't think that it would be an anime that I would particularly enjoy watching. I remember that. I remember that feeling so vividly. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like that. Their hair is weird. Their hair long as heck for no reason and sharp as heck. Like, are they? Hold on. Poke people's eyes out. Yeah, the stream did go black. Oh man, what's going on here? Why did that happen? Hold on, y'all. I see that the screen went black. I caught it before y'all did because there's a delay. That's why y'all probably hearing me listen on the microphone right now. Oh man, what happened? That doesn't ever happen. Why did that happen? Okay, let me turn off the camera and turn it back on to see if that would bring... Yeah, okay. That worked. Sorry about that. Hope y'all can still hear me fine. Wow. Sorry about that, you guys. That was a little technical issue. Now, the camera didn't overheat. I think because I have the cord extended so far, it might have disconnected. My microphone is independent, so y'all would have still heard me. Sorry about that, but we are back. We are back. Man, I am already like kind of loving this. Oh man, I when I tell you I can see so much more potential here in getting this piece done the way that I really want it to be and come out. I think I saw somebody in here talking about they wanted some pencils. Get yourself this set right here. These Arteza Expert 72 pack. Get yourself that set. Start there. I feel like these are actually probably better than these Prismacolor ones. Yeah, we're in here. We are in here. Let's get back to the drawing and back to the story. So like I said, man, I didn't think I was gonna be into Dragon Ball. I saw these kids being obsessed over these weird little characters, and what's so crazy is, you know, I became a Dragon Ball fan before even watching the anime. That's because that's how it kind of just happened for us back then. As far as I know, the way the story goes, as far as how it got to me in my school and the kids in my school, is that the kids in middle school was already hip to Dragon Ball, and they were putting it on to their siblings who were younger and in grade school. So the siblings would come to school and they would talk about these characters, and really how it was coming about. I saw Dragon Ball characters before I even heard about the names of the characters and what they do and what they're about. So what was happening is, in my school, in grade school, there were pictures floating around of these Dragon Ball characters. Yeah, and y'all probably know some of these old pictures. There'll be like the whole squad. You got Goku and Gohan and Goten and they'll be all Super Saiyan in the front, and maybe you got some other characters in the back. I would show y'all those pictures for reference purposes on the screen, but I didn't pull them up, and I'm trying to work on this. But yeah, so I would see these characters in these pictures, these printouts, and kids will bring these printouts to school, and I noticed that the kids would go crazy over these pictures. And I'm like, okay, there's something here. And in my young entrepreneur mind, I had the idea of, okay, you know what I'm going to do? Since kids are loving this right now, I'm going to get my hands on some of these pictures and I'm going to distribute them to kids in school. I'm going to sell it to them. So I had my whole price thing set up. So let's say that because this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, right? This was typically the size of those little those printouts of Dragon Ball Z characters, and the way I would sell them would be based on the color and the size of the image. So if it was like a little small image on the page, I might sell that for 25 cents. If it was black and white, if it was a full page black and white print, that might go for $1. And if it was color, it can go anywhere between $1, depending on how small it is, up to $5 for a full sheet. And it also depends if it was a laser printer that did it or if it was an inkjet printer. Like, I had my prices set out. So I would get my teachers in school, like I would buy or either get some of the kids in school to give me some of the Dragon Ball Z pictures, and then I would go to my teachers and I would sweet talk my teachers into going to the teachers' lounge and Xeroxing as many copies as they possibly could, and then giving them to me, and then I would sell them to the kids in school. My little young entrepreneur mind, just firing off. And boy, when I tell you at 9 years old, I was making probably about $700 a month. And that was back in 1999 dollars. So equate inflation now, I was doing all right for a 9-year-old. And I was absolutely loving it. I was making some good money. And I was becoming a fan of these Dragon Ball Z characters. But it started with me making money off of these characters, right? That I knew nothing of. I just knew that kids in school loved them. So that's when the cartoons hit Cartoon Network. And then from there it was off. It was erased. We would watch, it was like every Friday after school, you go home, you do your homework, and then like around 5 p.m., Dragon Ball Z would come on Cartoon Network. No kids would be outside. Everybody would be in the house, and you would watch it, and then you go outside and you play with your friends. You might talk about it a little bit, but you go back to school, talk about it some more. And that was our routine. That was our daily routine, was to watch Dragon Ball Z at 5 p.m. on Cartoon Network every day. Oh no, every Friday for the new episodes after school. But man, I miss those days, honestly. Take me back to those days when things were simple. Before the advancement of social media. Take me back. I want to go back. Take me there. See, I'm kind of just freehanding this a little bit. The ore doesn't have to perfectly trace the masking fluid. It just has to be there because there's going to be up in this area specifically. There's going to be a lot of mixtures of different colors. And I actually want to try out some different pencils to help with the effect, because these specific Prismacolor pencils do not blend. They do not blend with other colors very well. So I'm going to tap in with the Artezas that I haven't really used yet on this drawing to help get the effect that I'm looking for. That's another thing when it comes to pencils. You got to know which ones you're using especially if you're trying to blend and to pull off the different color schemes that you want. I started with these Prismas, so I still got to keep using them. But I definitely, when it comes to the aura around the body, I can tap in with the Artezas. But when it comes to these areas in the back here of the galaxy, I got to go back to the Prisma so that it can match with the other side of the drawing here. But yeah, man, I was a little young entrepreneur. I saw an opportunity and I capitalized on it. And it worked. It worked a great deal in my favor because I went on to continue to do that sort of thing when it came to Pokemon. I was like the #1 seller of Pokemon cards in middle school. And Yu-Gi-Oh cards, same thing. I went on until I got to high school. And when I got to high school, that's when it was like, all right, time to grow up. Kids gonna be laughing at me, making fun of me. But all of that is my origin story, right? All of that is my origin story. And the story continues as to how I got into being a content creator, right? And we're going to get there shortly. But I just want to glance at the chat a little bit. Like, look at my phone here. See what you guys are talking about. Hold on, let me... Thank y'all for hitting that like button for your boy. I see we had a few people fall off during the little blackout that we had. But we are back. Man. I see people in the chat talking about they started their art because of Dragon Ball. Yeah, I used to draw the Dragon Ball characters back in the day too. I still have some of those drawings of from when I was a little kid doing Dragon Ball, because I used to draw in school at a very young age. I used to sell my artwork in school because I could draw anything that I could see. I would sell my artwork in school, and then I got in trouble for selling artwork, or it got to a point where my artwork wasn't selling as well as I would have liked to as well, because me getting in trouble wasn't gonna stop me. So it got to a point where I was like, all right, artwork ain't selling so well. Let me go ahead and sell these Dragon Ball Z characters, because that's what all the kids are liking right now. All right, now I want to tap in with these other pencils, these Arteza pencils, and see how well they're going to do to help me out with this drawing here. So, fascinating. Okay. I'm seeing some things that I definitely could have done better. Let's see here. Okay, cool. Actually, correction. I'm gonna tap in. It is the Arteza pencils that I've been using for this drawing. This Prismacolor pencil is not the same as the set of Prismacolor pencils that I have here. This is a different pencil. So I'm about to tap in with these pencils to see how well they're going to blend. Oh yeah, I can already tell. That's a different pencil. It's a better pencil. Okay. Let's see here. Let's get in some of those other colors that I'm trying to pull out in this image here. I want to test over here on this side first. Oh wow. Oh wow. It's crazy how this even blends in better with the pencil that doesn't blend well. On top of it, it just does what it's supposed to do. This is crazy. Wow. This is nice. Oh, wow. Yes. Because that was one of the issues that I was having. Feeling like, you know, some of the spaces, some of the areas could be a bit darker. And the pencils wasn't really doing what I was wanting and needed to do. But that's not the case anymore. Now this pencil is actually working and working very well. I like it. Okay. Let me tap back in over here and darken up some of these areas that I wanted darker. Oh, heck yeah. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Prismacolor, baby. It's the Prismacolors. But it's all about getting the right pencil because they don't all do what you want them to do. Yeah, man. Now we talking. So when it comes to art, my mother probably could do this drawing better than I could. My mother was a phenomenal artist. Phenomenal, especially when it came to color pencils. She understood paper and how and color pencils and how to put them together and make them just merge. And I used to be so at awe watching my mother color. She would take a coloring book and color it so perfectly, and I'd be like, "Mom, how do you do that?" And she'd be like, "Baby, you got to understand the texture of the paper. You have to go with the texture of the paper." My mother was like a sensei. She was like a sensei when it came to drawing and coloring. She understood textures, and when I was so young, I couldn't understand what she meant by that. I was like, "What do you mean, texture of the paper? What? I thought you just put the pencil to the paper and draw." She's like, "No, baby. You got to understand that texture so that you can fill in that paper and leave no little white areas, no little white marks." I was like, "Wow, teach me." And I would just sit there and just watch her color because she was doing something I just could not figure out. But man, I am liking the way this is coming out. Now I just have to blend more, have to expand that out so that it can look more natural. Yeah, this pencil is definitely working a heck of a lot better. So, going back to my origin story, right? I got to a point in life where I just was lost. I didn't know who I was, what I wanted to be doing with my life. And that was the majority of my 20s. So if you're in your 20s right now, you're listening to me, have hope. It can get better. It will get better. You just got to sit down, have a conversation with yourself about yourself, and map out some ideas of the direction that you're trying to take your life. So I had to do that with myself. Got to the point I was like 27, 28 years old, and when I finally figured out, who I was and what I wanted to be doing. Oh man, there's some stuff that I could do here. Yo, hold on. I'm just like kind of like freehanding a bit, but I think it's gonna do something nice. But yeah, like I was saying, 28 years old, still lost, still confused, questioning what my life was, and then and then thinking back, I heard somebody. I was listening to somebody, because I got to the point where I was so obsessed with self-development. So I was listening to all these great people, right? These great minds. Gary Vee, I probably heard of him. He's right here on YouTube. Meg, I think her name was, I can't remember her name. Tony Robbins, I was listening to him. And Bob Proctor, the late great Bob Proctor, RIP to him as well. And I was just listening to all these great minds. And Ty Lopez, I was listening to Ty Lopez as well. And I was hearing them say stuff that I had never heard anybody say before. And then something clicked. Someone said, go back to your childhood. What was your childhood like? What was your dreams and aspirations as a young child, as a young version of yourself? What did that version of you want to be when he got older? Or what were you doing back then that you enjoyed so much that you maybe can tap back into today and start something from? Oh man, I like that. I like that a lot. So then, I gave that idea some thought. And I was like, well, when I was young, I was a little young entrepreneur. I had my little businesses where I sold art and drawings and Dragon Ball Z pictures and Dragon Ball Z stickers and posters and Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon cards, all this stuff, all that. I was doing all that type of stuff. So what did that mean? How can I apply this to this information? And that's when I realized, I'm like, oh man, I had the young entrepreneur spirit in me. And my mother was an entrepreneur. I was like, okay, maybe that's the route I should take. Maybe I should start studying entrepreneurship. So then that's when, on top of doing the self-development, I did a deep dive into entrepreneurship while at the same time studying self-development. All right, I need another color here. All right, there's some stuff going on here. There's some empty space over here that can be filled in. And when I started that journey of entrepreneurship and learning about the tricks of the trade, that's when it clicked. I was like, oh man, I am enjoying this. So I started a few different businesses, some of which failed. One of which is Cyber Dad Hats, where I was trying to sell dad hats online. That business didn't work out too well. If you've ever gotten an email from me, or it says like my PayPal is like Cyber Dad Hats, if you buy merch on the website and you buy it through PayPal, yeah, that's me. That's Cyber Dad Hats. That was one of my failed business ideas. And then from there, I went on to doing e-commerce. Well, Cyber Dad Hats was e-commerce, but it was the failed e-commerce. It was what didn't work for me. Okay. Playing with this side of the paper. Let's get back over here. Let's get back over here. But y'all gonna see this right here. I'm gonna do a lot more of that in the drawing, just to help with the ore. I like that. I like that a lot, and it's gonna pull off what it is that I'm trying to pull off. But anyway, so time to tap back in over here. I'm a little nervous, but we're gonna do it. It's gonna work. It's gonna look good. Let me grab those colors. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's see. There's a pink over here too. Pinkish color. Find it first. I think that's it right there. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one and the two. Yeah, man, that's it right there. This little pink is just scattered in different places. But where was I? Where was I in the story? Oh yeah, so after the whole cyber dad hat thing failed, mind you, during that time as well, I was working on sneakers. I had a sneaker business on the side where I would restore sneakers. So that's where the name Artofkickz came from, for those of y'all that didn't know. How many people got in the chat right now? Let me see if I can pull up YouTube over here. I don't even got YouTube pulled up. Give me a
Introducing custom t-shirts. Sticker Mill makes it easy to turn
Hold on. Sorry for the background noise. Okay, there we go. Alright, now I can see. But yeah, like I was saying, mind y'all, during that time, I had a little sneaker business on the side. Artofkickz, right? I was the go-to guy for restoring sneakers. I was a go-to guy in Atlanta, Georgia for restoring sneakers. So, and that was some pretty good money. That was pretty lucrative. It was extremely time-consuming, but I enjoyed the process because I was able to take my art and apply it somewhere where there was a demand for it. There was a demand for my artistic talent. I wasn't doing sneaker customs, but I was able to restore a sneaker back to its original state and beyond. Sometimes it was to the point where I could go into a sneaker store, even to this day, and I can look at a pair of shoes and I can see the manufacturer flaws and I can see where I can correct it and make it better. So that was something that I really enjoyed doing. So I was doing that, and I would, land these different jobs here and there, driving shuttle buses for hospitals and stuff, while still having my little sneaker restoration business on the side, because the shuttle buses wasn't enough income, to sustain me. Even when I became a supervisor, still wasn't enough. So if I'm using certain colors and I see where it needs to be added to other areas of the drawing, y'all gonna see me do that. I need to tap back in over here with this pink. But yeah, so driving shuttles, restoring sneakers. Still not completely happy or fulfilled, but I knew I was in the right direction. I knew that what I was doing was helping me get to where I was going. Right? So I had this idea. Well, before that, there's another business adventure that I tried to embark on that was a success, but I had a hater, and my hater was a family member, and because of that family member, the business went under, and that was Amazon fulfillments. So I was a merchant on Amazon. So basically, I would sell products on Amazon, and the way I was doing it was I was what you would call a piggyback seller. So I would find products that were selling well on Amazon, and I would go and source those products, and I would create second listings for those same products, and I would just sell that product again, but at a cheaper cost. And it was all through, Amazon Prime and everything. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it because for the first time ever, I was making money while I was asleep. And that was like a dream come true. I would freaking wake up or wake up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, look at my phone, and money was coming in. And it was the coolest thing ever. So what I would do is I would go to any little like Goodwill or any of the Walmarts and Targets, go to the clearance aisles, find products, scan them with my Amazon app on my phone and see how much they were selling for on Amazon. And then I would, if they sell well on Amazon, I would buy them and buy as much as I possibly could, ship them off to the fulfillment centers, and just let the money roll in. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And at that time, when I started doing that business, that was in 2016, right after my mom passed away, December of 2015. 2016, I ended up moving in with my aunts just so that I can, get on my feet. And that's when I started that business, on top of doing my sneaker restorations, on top of driving that shuttle bus for the hospitals. I was grinding. I was hungry. I was determined to make something of myself. And I thought that Amazon thing was going to be the wave, going to be the route to go, which technically it still is. It's still very lucrative for a lot of people. People can still get into it right now and make some good money. So, hold on, let me see. I'm trying to map things out on here so that I won't overwhelm myself, but definitely do and get to where it is I'm trying to go with this drawing. I definitely can see where I need to soften up some areas over here, blend some things a bit more. This looks chaotic right in here to me. So does this area. All that's going to get touched up, but I want to lay the groundworks for this area here, and it's a bit overwhelming. From the source picture that I'm using to how I'm supposed to be doing this, the color pencils was not the route to take for the Galaxy. Probably airbrushing would have been a better medium to use, or even watercolor. Watercolor really would have been the best medium to use back there, because watercolor is my medium of choice. So I'm more proficient with watercolor. So that's going to be my next drawing. My next drawing is going to be mixed medium with watercolor again. Those were actually my best drawings, where the character himself was color penciled and the background is watercolor. That makes the most sense, honestly. That's how the professionals would do it as well. Either watercolor or gouache. So let me finish figuring out what all is going on with this drawing here in the Galaxy, in the background area. Okay, now I see the color I'm supposed to be using. But yeah, so I was doing the Amazon thing, having a lot of fun with it, learning, growing, making some extra income. It wasn't nothing crazy. It wasn't a whole lot of money coming in, but it was definitely enough to help help my aunts, because they were looking after me, and it was enough to kind of start my future ventures with my entrepreneurship, right? Yeah. Kind of tapping back in over here just to see how well this pencil is going to give me the effect for the area that I'm about to use it in. This was my mom's technique right here. Going in circles and going off the texture. Oh yeah, that's definitely helped clearing that up a bit, cleaning that up. Okay, now this pencil desperately needs sharpening. I gotta sharpen this thing. Hold on. I don't even know where a sharpener is. I'm that freaking pathetic right now. Oh where did the sharpener go? Where the heck could it be? Yeah, I really don't know where a sharpener is, y'all. This is horrible. This is so bad. Hold on real quick. Let me turn off freaking monetization. There we go. YouTube be tripping. Playing ads on my videos while I'm live. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. No, sorry. Hold on. I'm hearing the talking. There we go. Darn, I really cannot find a color pencil. A sharpener. I got these blades here, but I don't even know where an X-Acto knife is for the blades. This is bad. This is really bad. I have a box, but I don't even know where the box is. A box that I had all my art supplies in. I think it's in storage. Or not all of my art supplies, but most of my art supplies. That's a pity. We're gonna just have to make do somehow. I don't think this is gonna work as well as I would like for it to. But I'm gonna try something here. Ugh. That worked. That worked. I am okay with that. Oh, darn, my trash can ain't in here no more. All right, now we're back. Now we are back in action. All right. Okay. So what I want to do, I can go crazy now, filling in all of this area here. Yeah, I can go crazy. I can blend all this stuff. But yeah, where was I? Where was I in my story? Anybody remember? Where did I leave off? I remember now. Yes, I was at my aunt's house, living with them, and starting my little entrepreneur endeavors. Cyber Dad hat, that was a flop. Selling as a merchant, piggybacking on Amazon, that was a success. But one of my aunts that I was living with, I was using her computer. Mind you, she didn't really know how to use a computer. So I pretty much had all the access that I wanted to that computer to do my little business. And I was using the computer and I was using it regularly, like literally daily. I would log into Amazon. I would, set up the products to be shipped to Amazon and put on the website and all that good stuff. And then, I would go about my day, but I would never be on a computer for more than about 2 hours on any given day. One day, I came home from work, working the shuttle job, and I noticed that I couldn't log into the computer. I could not log into that freaking computer. And I was like, hey, is there something wrong with the computer? It's not letting me log in. And my aunt, she was like, oh, I had your cousin come over and change the password on the computer. I was like, oh, okay. What's the new password? She was like, I don't want you to use the computer no more. I was like, what? How come? She was like, because you're hogging the computer. You're using it all the time. I'm like, I'm the only one that used the computer. I'm like, no one else uses the computer. I'm not hogging it. I'm only ever on it for like 2 hours at a time. And nobody else is using it. I'm like, when I'm off at work, people can be using the computer. Like I'm like, what's going on? What's this really about? And my aunt was like, well, I don't know what you're doing on that computer, and I don't like it. I don't like the fact that you're using my computer. You need to get your own computer. I was like, wow, really? I was like, okay. You don't know what you just did. I was like, you don't understand the blocking that you just blessed. Right. I was like, if I would have become very successful and wealthy off of this, I was going to bless you guys for taking me in after my mother passed away and helping me get on my feet. But you specifically, because of this, you get nothing from me other than what I'm doing right now, which is giving you guys some money to help me, let me stay in the room here. After that incident, that Amazon business went completely under. I never did anything else with that Amazon business again. I couldn't at that time. I didn't have a computer. My aunt had my cousin come over and wipe everything that I was doing on that computer completely off. everything that I had saved, all the little programs and everything was completely wiped off of that computer. That business was dead. I went from making some side money selling product on Amazon to not making any money selling product on Amazon. And I was about to take it to the next level, because the next level is private label, where you go from piggybacking, selling products that are already on Amazon, to private label selling products, which means that now you have your own products, your own brand, your own business, and you can just take it to another level. The sky's the limit. That was the next step. But because my aunt wanted to be jealous of my little business and making some money, she decided, all right, no more. Can't use my computer anymore. So then that's when I doubled down on the sneaker restoration business. And then YouTube came into the play. But how did YouTube come into play? So if you look at the earlier videos on my channel, I used to restore sneakers. And I used to vlog those sneaker restorations. So I had this idea, because I was already watching sneaker restoration videos on YouTube. That's how I learned how to restore sneakers, was watching sneaker restorations on YouTube. So I had an idea one day. I was like, you know what? I'm going to vlog the process of me restoring sneakers and picking them up from the clients and taking the sneakers back to them and looking at their reaction to, you know, their sneaker being restored. I was like, I think that would be a really good idea. No other sneaker restorator is doing that right now on YouTube. So I started doing that. And I loved it. And then one day I got to a point. Oh, I didn't tell you guys this part. My whole Amazon business, it was doing well enough to where my boss that I was working for with the little shuttle job, where he wanted to go into business with me. So he bought me a computer. He actually bought me a computer because he wanted to go into business with me. He believed my vision that much. And we were starting the journey of doing the private label. But fast forward past that. That didn't last long, because I decided to leave that job so that I can have better or make more money, basically. So my friend that got me that job, he was working with me, and he left and he got a job at a car dealership as a service advisor. So he brought me in over there, and we worked together there. And I actually, that's another part of the story. I'm gonna get to that part. But anyway, so basically, for those of y'all who are just getting here, I'm telling my origin story of how Dragon Ball Z got me to where I am today. I'm gonna be here for a while drawing, so I might as well give y'all the full details, right? And I'm trying to focus and trying to tell the story at the same time. So if y'all feel like I'm slow at talking or doing a horrible job telling this story, I do apologize. Multitasking is not my forte. And right now, I'm just laying down the groundwork for these areas. They'll be doubled up, layered, added more layers and layers and layers and layers to get the desired look. Especially when it comes to color pencil, you'll see space or the white of the paper still bleeding through behind the color. So you got to go in behind it and add more layer to that. But right now, we're just laying down the groundwork for the aura around Goku right now. And then I'll go back and do some darker colors and lighter colors and mixing of colors and all this good stuff. But right now, I'm trying to get to the point where I can remove this masking fluid, but I have to fill in this aura space first. But anyway, I want to read the chat real quick. I want to see what y'all talking about in the chizat. Shout out to everybody that's copping merch too. I'm going to individually go through and shout you guys out at some point in this live stream. But let me see here. Let me see what y'all talking about. Exactly. Yeah, family. Yeah, family can definitely suck. What's crazy is, and I'll go back to that story a little bit, honestly, because there's a light at the end of the tunnel there, right? You know, during that time where I was living with my aunts after my mom passed away, it was almost like the Cinderella story. Like, here I am, I'm in the best mental space that I have ever been, considering the fact that I just lost my mom, and I'm trying to be the man that I feel like my mom would want me to be, and the man that I envision myself being, right? So at this time, I'm the most respectful, I'm the most honest that I had ever been before that point. Well, after dealing with what I had dealt with, losing my mom and struggling with finding my place in the world. I'm the most honest, trustworthy that I've ever been in my life. And it was odd. I moved in with my aunts. I had two aunts that were living together, and I didn't really have a solid relationship with them coming in. So it wasn't the ideal situation. Growing up, my mom would cry to me and be like, "Baby, if anything ever happens to me, promise me you won't ever go live with my sisters, because they will not do right by you. They will not treat you right." And I didn't want to move in with them. My cousin, the one who swiped the computer, cleared all of my progress from my little Amazon business. She was the one that convinced me to move in with my aunt. She was like, "Hey, look, I know what your mom told you, but your mom told that to a child. You're a grown man now. You can hold yourself. You can handle your own. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Just they want to help you out. Just go ahead and move in with them. I don't." And she was like, "You can have my room. I have the biggest room in that apartment. You can have my room. I'm always at my friend's house anyway. I don't never want to be at home. So you can have my room." So my cousin let me have her room, and I moved in over there for only 8 months. My aunt ended up kicking me out. The same aunt that wiped my computer, she kicked me out a week before my birthday. So, but before we get there, so here I have two aunts that I don't have a good relationship with. But I noticed that one of my aunts, the younger one, she was the middle aunt, or the middle sister of all the siblings. There was something about her that changed. Her and I started to really get along and have a healthy relationship. And I remember asking her, I was like, "Hey, something about you's different. You're no longer the aunt that I used to hate." I was like, "What is it about you? What's changed? How is it that at your age, in your 50s, you change?" Everything that I have been studying as far as self-development, they tell me that, some people are typically locked into who they are, their character, by the time they're 30 years old. Who they are is who they are. I'm like, "You're not that person anymore. How is it that you changed? Why is it that you changed?" And she told me, she was like, "My sister." She was like, your aunt, the one that was mean to me. She was like, "I saw myself in her." She was like, "I saw myself in her, and I didn't like that." She was like, "I didn't like how she was, the things that she was doing, how she talked to people, how she interacted with people. I saw that person inside of me, and I didn't want to be that way no more." And I was like, wow, that was the most honest answer you could have possibly given, because yes, y'all two were two peas in the pod. Y'all were just alike. Y'all were so judgmental, so full of drama, just like one another. I'm like, the fact that you recognized that and decided that you didn't want to be that way anymore. Ah, man, thank you for telling me that. Thank you for growing. So, fast forward, I'm still there. My aunt, her and I are developing this really, really beautiful relationship to the point where I had a better relationship with her than I did my own mom. There's still times, literally yesterday, where I get this urge that I want to pick up the phone and call my aunt, but she passed away as well. So, fast forward to the time when my aunt actually kicked me out of the apartment. So this is where Travis come into the equation, y'all. For y'all who've been watching and been a fan of the channel for a while, y'all will remember Travis, my roommate, someone I actually went to high school with, someone I was in a marching band with. This is where Travis comes into the equation. So I was at home one day at my aunt's house, laying in the bed, and I get a text from Travis, or a phone call. I got a phone call from Travis randomly. I'm like, why is Travis calling me? I was like, I'll just answer the phone. I'm not doing anything. I'll just pick up the phone. And Travis was like, yo, man, my birthday's coming up, bro. You should come hang out with me. And I was like, man, I can't do that. I'm like, I need to find a place to stay. I'm stressing out right now. He's like, what's going on? I was like, my aunt's trying to kick me out. She was like, I have to the end of the month. And I'm like, the end of the month is my birthday. She knows this. She knows that my birthday is literally the last day of the month. And she was like, I have to be gone by then. And he was like, dang, man, that's messed up. He was like, I'm in a similar predicament right now. I was like, really? He was like, yeah, man, they're kicking me out over here. They don't want me over here no more. I was like, bro, if you're down, let's get an apartment together. He's like, heck yeah, I'm down. I was like, all right, bet. Like, let's meet up this weekend so we can plan this thing out. And that's how it happened. That's how Travis and I became roommates. It was literally like, I haven't seen this dude in 10 years, but I'm about to move in with him. I didn't even question the fact that, like, why is it that he was being kicked out of the home that he was in? Bruh. Oh, I know why now. God, he was a pain in the ass. Oh my God, living with Travis was stress every day. Every day he was so stressful. But, you know, I was so grateful, so appreciative. It was God. God was looking out. God was looking out. God knew that, you know, I needed a better situation. I needed to be treated better than I was at that time, you know. And what's so crazy is that aunt that I had the really bad relationship with, the one that was literally messing up everything that I had going on, we actually have a healthy relationship now. She changed. She became better. She's no longer that person that she once was. And so much of that has to do with the fact that, you know, she lost her sisters. She lost her sisters, and she doesn't have a healthy relationship with her twin brother, who's my uncle, who's now the villain of the siblings. It went from the two sisters and always the uncle to now just the uncle, right? But even then, getting a better relationship with the uncle now, which is it's funny how this all works and plays out. He invited us to come down to his house for Easter. This will be the second year that I'll be spending Easter at his house. This is something, it's a tradition that he's been doing for many, many years, but, you know, we're just now getting the invites. So, but anyway, where was I? What was I saying that I wanted to keep saying or continue saying? Man, this image, this picture is overwhelming in the sense that I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess it up. I'm scared of it. I'm terrified of this picture right now. I wish I would have done watercolor. I can do really good watercolor galaxy. It literally would have been what I wanted to be. This looks like uncontrolled chaos. Not controlled chaos, uncontrolled chaos. The way that it's coming out right now. I'm going to make it work. But I really wish I would have done watercolor galaxy instead of the color pencil. But it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. All right. I'm stressed right now. I'm stressed, y'all. I'm trying to think about my art teacher, Mr. Chilo. Cool ass white dude with pork chop sideburns. Literally, his sideburns was shaped like pork chops. But even though some of his teaching methods won't necessarily apply here, I'm going to treat it as if it will. And one of the things that Chilo would always reiterate to the class is that when you're painting, you can never mess up. Because all you have to do is add more paint. Add more paint. Add more paint. Add more paint. You can never mess up. And that's true for acrylic paint and oil paint. And somewhat true for watercolor. There's ways to correct it, correct issues. Sorry, y'all, I'm still trying to get used to these teeth. But when it comes to color pencils aren't nowhere near, nor are markers forgiving when you make mistakes. So that's another reason why I'm stressed. But again, this image is me taking myself out of my comfort zone. So back to where I was in the story. If I can remember where I was in the story. I ended up moving in with Travis. And probably about 2 months into living with Travis, this one day I went to Bojangles. If y'all know that restaurant, I went to Bojangles. First time I had ever gone to Bojangles. And the last time. It was the first and last time I had ever gone to Bojangles. At least I think so. I think it was the first and last time I ever went to Bojangles. I know it was the last time. I don't know if it might have been the first. But anyway, I went to Bojangles. I got me like a chicken biscuit thing. And I came home, ate it. And then next thing I know, my heart was racing. My heart was racing really bad. Like I've never felt my heart beat so hard, so fast. And it was a bit concerning. I didn't know what was going on. I just knew that I was never eating Bojangles again. And so what ended up happening was after I ate the food, I went and laid on my bed. I was home by myself. I laid on my bed and I laid like literally face down into the bed. And I laid there for maybe about an hour. I remember a friend of mine called. We were supposed to work out together that day, and I told her, I'm like, hey, I'm not feeling well. I'm gonna have to cancel it on today. And I hung up with her, and I just laid there in the bed, face down into the bed. My heart was just pounding. And the next thing I know, I get a call from my aunt, the one that that was mean to me when I was over there. And she was like, hey, are you at home? I was like, yeah, why? It was weird too because I never spoken to her on the phone before. Mind you, we lived in the same apartment complex for like 10 years. And then when I moved with them, they had lived down the street, like literally walking distance from me. And I've never had a phone conversation with her before because that's how sour our relationship was. But she called me. She was like, hey, are you at home? And I'm like, yeah. And I could hear in her voice that something wasn't right. She was like, do you think you could come over here? I'm like, why? She was like, my sister. She's like, she was sleeping. She's not responding to me. Her eyes are rolled in the back of her head and I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do. She's like, I'm scared. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. I'm like, call 911 and I'm on my way. Right after I hung up the phone, I noticed that my heart was no longer pounding. I took my heart pounding as a sign that there was something going wrong. Because that pressure in my chest, that pain, that heart, that racing went away. It was like that was the sign that something was going wrong. So I hopped in my car. I was flying down the highway. I get to my aunt's house and the ambulance is already there and they have my aunt in the ambulance and the ambulance is shaking left and right, side to side, really hard. And I knew what that meant, that they were trying to resuscitate her. And I started having a panic attack. For those of y'all that's been watching this channel long enough, y'all know that occasionally I will suffer from debilitating panic attacks. I started having a panic attack. And my aunt, she was like, oh no, not you. I don't need something happening to you too, baby. Calm down. Sit down on the floor, sit down on the ground. So I sat down. All right, now I want to enrich these colors a bit by darkening them up, and then I need to add some darker purple tones in here as well. So they rushed my aunt to the hospital, to Emory Hospital. We follow along behind them. I actually got to the wrong hospital, then I ended up having to go to the right one. But we get there, we're waiting to hear what's going on, what's wrong with my aunt. And they're not sure. They don't know what's going on. Then we wait a bit longer for them to do some more tests and try to figure out what's going on with her. There's some yellow here in the galaxy, so I'm adding this yellow, and I want to do it real fine so that I can layer it with other colors. And I hope this pieces together how I'm wanting it to, because there's some red and some orange in here too, and then it goes back into the dark purples and whatnot. But anyway, so they finally bring my aunt and I in to tell us, hey, we're not sure what's wrong with your sister, what's going on with her. And then that's when I told the doctor, I was like, check her brain. He was like, excuse me, check her brain? What do you mean? And then that's when my aunt, she was like, the mean aunt, she was like, his mother, my mother, had a stroke last year. And it was sort of the same thing where they didn't know what was going on with her. And, they ended up checking her brain and saw her brain activity, and that's where they caught the stroke. They're like, okay, we will do that. That's what they did. And I remember looking at my aunt in the hospital room. I'm like, man, she looks just like my mom in the bed. Like, everything is like replaying and happening all over again. So they checked the brain, and they determined that she too had a stroke. Mind y'all, this was 1 year after my mother passed away from a stroke. My mother passed away December 16th of 2015, and my aunt passed away December 15th of 2016. Almost exactly 1 year apart, if you count for leap year. 1 year apart from each other, exactly 1 year apart to the date. So I had to relive all of that all over again. And it was harder the second time around than the first. You would have thought it was harder the first time, because the first time it was my mom. And the second time it was my aunt. But no, it was harder the second time. Because, like I told you guys, I had a better relationship with my aunt at this time than I had with my own mother. And even, like I said, to this day, I know my mother is dead, but there's still times where, or no, my mother is no longer here, but there's still times where I want to call my aunt and tell her and talk to her about stuff, you know? But after that, the mean aunt started to change for the better. Like I said, now her and I have the healthiest relationship that we've ever had because we're all we got left. She lost her two baby sisters. She was the oldest. Her and my uncle are twins. They're the oldest. My uncle doesn't treat her like his twin sister. He treats her like a stranger, basically. He does everything for everyone else, but nothing for her. Heck, nothing for anybody of blood, actually. These yellows are gonna be blended with other colors. It's gonna make it all make more sense later. Even some of this yellow needs to be over here, mixed in with all of this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's what this needed over here. All this yellow. Controlled chaos. Uncontrolled chaos, really. Oh yeah. That's what I was missing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This pistol just lays on top so nice. Oh yeah. It does exactly what I needed to be doing. Wow. 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 The difference. The difference. Still so crazy. Still so crazy. All right. Damn. If only I use watercolor though. If only. All right. Let's see what you guys are talking about in the Chizat. Shout out to everybody in here hanging out. Sunrise says watercolor is more difficult to work with as a medium. Not for me, it isn't. Not for me, it isn't. Watercolor is my preferred medium. Watercolor is my safe space. I can do acrylic. I never really dabbled with the oil paints, but watercolor is my home. Let me show you guys an example of a watercolor galaxy that I did. I don't know how well y'all can see this on my phone, but like, y'all see the watercolor galaxy? Let me see, do I need to turn up the brightness? Yeah, I'm turning up the brightness on this phone. Phone about to die. Come on, focus, focus. Why ain't no focus no more? Focus. I need to set the, okay, there we go. Y'all see that? Watercolor that's a watercolor galaxy. Very simple, very easy to do. Like this would be more of my desired effect. And I did this back in November of 2015. Like, if watercolor, that's my home right there. If I would have did that, that would have did the background way better, way more of what the desired look that I was going for here. I like it and hate it and everything all at the same time. It's not coming together how I really would want. I gotta figure it out though. I'm just gonna keep going and pray for the best. It's like I almost want to do something different in this area because I feel like it's just complete chaos right here. It just, I feel like this area of the drawing just doesn't fit with any of the rest of the drawing. So I want to block it in and do something different. Feel like I just destroyed this entire picture. Feel like that one little spot just ruined this whole picture. I love everything I did about Goku. I absolutely love, but the background is killing me. This one area just looks like complete and utter chaos. It's like I don't know what to do about it. have to work with it to the point where it makes sense. I want to get back to my story in a moment here. Right now, just trying to clean up what's stressing me out right now, which is this mess here. Later, I'll come back and add some blues in here to make it look more like the galaxy behind it. But in the meantime, in between time, let me drag out some of these colors. I shouldn't have put that yellow in there now that I'm thinking about it. I should have left the yellow out of there. I know some of y'all are probably thinking the same thing. Why did you add that yellow? That's what messed it up. Let me pull some of that purple out in the picture here. But back to the story. So, yep, y'all know. I lived with Travis for 4 freaking years. 4 long, miserable years of torment, daily torment from that boy. Literally, daily torment. If you ever look on YouTube, Living with Travis, that was my everyday life, living with Travis, being tortured by that boy every single freaking day. Because he was a 5-year-old child locked in a grown man's body. Literally. So I lived with him for 4 years while still doing self-development and working at a car dealership. First, still working at the shuttle job. Still was working at the shuttle job for the first couple of years, first 2 years, and then working at the car dealership for the next 2 years. That kind of helped. But I gotta blend more. Which is something I wanted to do anyway. I wanted to darken up the space. Get some of these lighter colors out of here some. Y'all gotta excuse me. Y'all gonna hear me or see me take little breaks in the story because I'm still stressing out about the direction of this drawing. And I'm trying to clean up, fix some stuff. feel right. It just feels like I'm just adding more junk, of layered, of colored, of mess. I wonder, it's probably not going to work, but it's worth giving it a try. It's actually coming off. And it's actually kind of creating a cool effect. I kind of like the way it looks. I'm going to end up leaving this area alone for a while. Coming back to it, figuring it out later. In the meantime, in between time to get stressed out again in these other areas. So I want to come in with a blue. I have to use a different pencil than the ones I want to use. Another thing I probably should have did is hit the background with the brush markers. The brush markers might have been a better idea. To use on the background. So in this area here, there's pink, and then there's blue here in the sky. I'm struggling to get the desired look because, like I said, color pencils are a weak point for me. Use my mom's technique. Not her technique, but technique that she uses. Going in circles, going off the texture of the paper. It's tedious, but it's very effective to get even coloring. And I hate that there's so many other colors mixed in here. I should have took some classes on how to use color pencils the right way. I would kill this. This would be so much easier with watercolor paint. So much easier. But anyway, back to the story. So I was trying to remember what part of the story I wanted to tell you guys. Let's get into the worst part of the story. not the worst, but a really sad part of the story. So my cousins, I had two cousins that my aunt, the better the not so mean aunt, adopted. She she adopted two girls, and they were part of my family. But when she passed away, the rest of my family disowned them. They told them how they really felt. They're like, "Oh, you're not blood. You're not this. You're not that. We're not gonna do anything for y'all. Da, 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 da. Y'all are dead to us." Didn't see it coming. Didn't see it coming. So the bigger sister, the older sister of my two cousins, she took that as a sign to just distance herself from us. I'll hear from her every now and then. I never really got along with her very well because I didn't like how mean she was to her little sister, who I still talk to occasionally. We send memes too on Instagram all the time, literally every day. Yeah, okay. This is doing something for me. Shout out to Mama Dukes for this technique that she taught me. And I can do it better. I can get it more even, but it just takes time. You gotta sit here until there's no white showing through the bottom of the paper or the bottom of the color pencil, through the color pencil. This technique takes a really long time, but it's like the best way to go about coloring with color pencil, in my opinion. It takes a really, really long time. And I should be doing it more smaller circles, more finer like this. All right. I want to do something real quick. Because I'm ready to remove this masking fluid. But before I can, I have to put color here. You guys, I'm tempted to do something. I'm really tempted to do something here. What I know that I could do to make this picture better. And I think that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Yep, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna leave this picture alone because I'm really not happy with how it's coming out. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm really, really not feeling some of the different areas of this picture, right? But I know a way that I can fix it. I know a way that I can salvage this image. I'm gonna cut out Goku. I'm gonna completely cut him out this image. And I'm going to place him down on top of the watercolor image. So I'm going to put him down. I'm going to mask him off, tape him off completely, entirely, and paint the background in watercolor. So then that way I can get the better desired picture. And for some of these areas where the background overlaps Goku, with the exception of these guys here, I might cut them out too. Nah, I'll leave them. But that's what I'm going to do, you guys. I can't do it right now because I have the X-Acto blades, but I don't have an X-Acto knife. I have to go to the store, unless I have one here. No, I have to go to the store, go to Walmart, and buy an X-Acto knife so that I can sit here and carefully cut out Goku from this image so that I can place him on top of another watercolor paper like so, glue him down, and then tape him off so that I can paint around him. And then do the masking fluid technique again, but this time I'll be painting around him in watercolor. Then that way I'll feel more comfortable and more satisfied with the direction of this image. I think that would be a good idea. Because right now I'm not happy with it. So because I'm not happy with it, I can do the one thing that will make me happy, which is to remove this freaking masking fluid. I've been wanting, see, look at that. It's not even coming off properly because of how long it's been on the paper. I'm so glad I had that idea, because I would have hated to have gone so far in working with this picture only to discover that the masking fluid isn't coming off properly. So that is a lesson learned. Can't leave masking fluid on too long, because this masking fluid is supposed to just be brittling away as I'm rubbing it. It's supposed to show clear paper. It's not supposed to be gunky like this to the point where it's still on the paper and it's just smearing. Masking fluid is not supposed to smear. Look at this. I would have been rubbing away and ruining all of the artwork that I had just done here, because that's literally what's happening right now. But because this masking fluid has been sitting on this image for literally over a year, it has now the consistency of it has changed, and now it's not coming off how it's supposed to. It's supposed to just be rubbing off and have perfect paper underneath it, but that's not the case at all. Now it's become one with the paper. So now I have to rub it away. See, look at that. It's ruining the image. That's not supposed to happen. So now I have to rub it away from the image of Goku so it won't destroy Goku. I mean, at this point, I don't even have to touch the masking fluid anymore because I'll be cutting Goku out of it. But good to know. That's not any good. I would cut the image out on live, but I don't want to do that. I want to take my time cutting Goku out. I gotta place the paper down again. I gotta see if I still have this same paper in this same size. I should. I think I know where it might be. And then, yeah, I can start over, lay down the masking fluid again. This time we're not gonna leave it on there forever. And I'll be able to finish the picture a lot quicker, because the watercolor, I can literally use thick brushes and lay down the light wash, and then just add the colors of watercolor where I need it, so that I can get more of this desired look, if y'all can see, where I can really make the galaxy look how I want it to look just by manipulating the watercolor. So another thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to practice this, because it's been a long time since I've done this as well. I'm gonna practice this, do these little circles, Try to keep the paint within the circle and make sure I can still do this. Use very high quality watercolor paint so that when I come back to this, which will be very soon, very, very soon, then I'll do it the right way. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna cut Goku out today. This is a tribute. This is a tribute video to the legend, the late great. So I'm going to get back to this soon. We're not gonna take a year to finish this again. I promise you guys. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna cut Goku out of here and have a fresh background to start on, because I don't like the way this is coming out. This is not coming out how I wanted it to at all. Yeah. Y'all get where I'm coming from? Y'all understand what I'm saying? Let me look at the chat. People saying, Giovanna said, sounds like a good idea. I haven't, growing process said watercolor or pastel. Pastel is a really, really good idea. A pastel would be good for this drawing too, but I never was good at pastels, so I rather do what I'm more comfortable with, and I think the watercolor would work out very well for me. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, Sunrise. I hear you, but because color pencils are so unforgiving, and especially because of this masking fluid has literally ruined the picture. If y'all look in this area, like right here, where it has smeared, I can't do anything about that anymore. That's like oily. I can no longer color in this area anymore. And if I continue to try to go in and remove all this other masking fluid that's all around here, all it's gonna do is continue to ruin the image, because the masking fluid is not of the same consistency that it's supposed to be when removing it from the paper. It's supposed to just rub right off. That's not happening. So let me show you what I mean. I got the masking fluid right here. Actually, I can't even use this anymore. This is the masking fluid. And even though it's been sealed in this bottle for as long as it has, it's become basically like, oh wait, maybe it does still work. Hold on. I almost poured that out. I almost poured this masking fluid out on this paper. But heck, this is actually the brush that I was using for the masking fluid. Yeah, it actually still works. So let's say I put the masking fluid around this. Can't put it on too thick, but that's all I'm gonna put on there. Once that masking fluid dries, now I want to do something with this freaking paper paintbrush. I don't know how long it's gonna take for the dang on masking fluid to dry, but I just put it around this piece of space rock here. But once it dries, yeah, I'm not gonna touch it right now. I'll be able to just rub it and it will completely remove itself, and it won't smear like this. It won't do what all this is done here. Like, this is completely unusable. I don't even want to mess with it too much because I want to just cut Goku out of the image. But yeah, it's almost done drying. I'll let it finish drying so y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. I need to put this freaking phone on the charger. Shout out to Erica for sending me a donation. for some more supplies. Thank you so much, because Lord knows I'm gonna need some more supplies right about now. I want to show you guys some of the other previous artwork that I have done. So this one right here is a prime example of what I mean. All right, so you see this image here? I did this back in 2015. This right here was color pencil and watercolor. It was predominantly watercolor. The only areas where I used color pencil was to outline the characters. So if you look closely, this is taken with an old phone. This is 2015. Everything I did was in paint. So you see the aura around Frieza. You see the galaxy in the back. You see how everything was able to just easily blend together how I wanted. This whole illustration was with paint. I did this whole illustration with watercolor paint. This is how much more comfortable I am with the paint. You see even how the yellow kind of blends with the orange of Goku's shirt here. Like everything. Like this was 2015, y'all. This was 10 years ago when I did this. Right? Got the nice border around the image as well. All of this was with what I'm comfortable with, which is the watercolor paint. I did all of this with watercolor paint. And then, like I said, the only place I used a pencil was the outline to do the hard lines around the characters. I did that with a mixture of paint and maybe like some markers. Not markers, but these guys here. The microns, if you're familiar with the microns. Outline with color pencil and microns. Frieza I did with color pencil because he's purple. So I wanted to outline with a purple color pencil. And then I did them with the micron markers. But you see how the galaxy in the back with the stars and everything, or, you know, just the space behind, not necessarily galaxy, how I was able to control that so well with paint, with watercolor. That's my medium of choice. So I know I'll be able to get that desired effect when I cut Goku out and do the paint in the back. So that was 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, 9 years ago to be exact. And there's more. This is another one that I did of Goku and Frieza fighting. Again, see that? All that is with watercolor paint. All of this is with watercolor paint. I was able to control the background way easier, way more with that watercolor paint. Watercolor paint is my safe place. This was a challenge for me. I'm still happy that I did this because Goku I did with brush markers. I did with these guys here. Brush markers. This is the first time I ever done an illustration using brush markers. I'm really, really happy with the way the Goku came out. But I got to go back to my origin when it comes to the background, the galaxy here. Here's another one that I did. All of these were sold to the same person. This one was okay. This one wasn't my favorite one. But, you know, it was one that I just wanted to do. Same thing. Same thing. Outline with marker. Paint it with watercolor. But anyway, that's it. I'm about to run to the store and grab this X-Acto knife so I can cut Goku out here. I'm going to see if I can find wherever I put that pad. I might have to buy another pad. Oh, as a matter of fact, no, I have to buy another pad. I have to buy watercolor pad because this is like mixed medium paper. This paper won't work so well with watercolor, so I need a watercolor paper this size or bigger to do the galaxy on the background. So yeah, I definitely have to go to the store. Shout out to who was that again? Erica, shout out to you again for the donation. She sent me $20 so I can go and get some more supplies. That's gonna be exactly how much I need to get what I need to finish working on this. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna end the stream right here. Again, thank y'all so much for understanding. You know, an artist is hardly ever satisfied with his work. You know, whenever he can come up with an idea to make his piece better, best believe he's gonna do it. But thank y'all so much. Thank y'all again. I want to look at the chat one more time before we get up out of here. See what y'all are talking about. Respond to y'all, and then I'm gonna go do what I need to do so that I can get back to this as soon as possible. I'm supposed to go watch a movie at 7 o'clock. It's about to be 5 o'clock now. So I want to at least come back and cut Goku out before I go to this dang on movie. Let's see. Timmy says, the rocks look great. Yeah, I was loving the way the rocks are coming out. Ooh, okay. The masking fluid is almost done. I want to show you guys how it's supposed to come off in just a moment. Keep working on it, A-okay. Have a nice night, everybody. Yeah, the meteor rock, exactly. And then Sunrise says, oh, okay, I see what you're saying now. That's a really good and actually creative idea to switch up. Yeah, I think it's going to be for the best. Yeah, I see some of y'all saying y'all still think it looks good. Yeah, it's going to look better, y'all. It's going to look better. All right, so here go this area right here. Let me see if can I zoom in anymore? Ooh, it looks good when I zoom in like that. The whole thing looks good. It looked like I can finish the drawing, right? Like it's not that bad. But trust me, it can be better. It can be better. For the desired outcome that I'm looking for, it's going to be better. This now is ruined because of this masking fluid. But let's see. There is masking fluid here that I put around this meteor. And look, I'm going to show you how it's supposed to do. See, I'm supposed to just be able to rub it. See that? Ah, beautiful. Beautiful. That's what masking fluid is supposed to do. And masking fluid is a great product to use, especially when you're doing watercolor. If you don't want the watercolor to get in certain places, or paint specifically, if you don't want the paint to get in certain places, use that masking fluid. See, I just rubbed that off and it didn't damage the paper. It came off like it was supposed to. If I was painting and I didn't want no paint to get on that meteor, then that masking fluid would have prevented that paint from getting on the medium or the meteor. But all this other masking fluid is just done. Ruined the image. It's good that I came up with that idea to cut Goku out and start over the background, because had I finished this picture, look, I'm so glad that I didn't do a whole lot of work. See all this space here? I didn't do a whole lot of work. That's what we needed to work on coming in. But had I finished all of this, only to try to remove this masking fluid and to see that the masking fluid is caked on and not gonna remove how it's supposed to and leave that negative white space like I needed it to, I would have been very upset. So it's good that this happened the way that it did. I hope y'all enjoyed the stories I was telling y'all, at least from this video. But yeah, now we know. Now we know that I need to do a better job, basically. But real quick, y'all, Akira Toriyama, shout out to you, man. I'm rocking the DBZ, man. I got the shirt on. I got on, if I can get them off my feet, I got on my very limited edition that I need to clean. I've never cleaned them before. My Goku Adidas, very rare set of shoes right here. I had to have them. I spent like $400 on these shoes years ago, but I had to get them because of what Dragon Ball and Akira Toriyama mean to me. But yeah, all right, y'all. I'm about to end the live stream right here. About to go get this X-Acto knife. I'm gonna have to go to a legit art supply store. I don't want to get the watercolor paper from Walmart. It's not gonna be any good quality paper, but I'm about to get the X-Acto knife from Walmart, and then I'm gonna have to I'm gonna go straight to go get that watercolor paper from somewhere. I might go to Hobby Lobby and see if they got the watercolor paper that I need. But anyway, y'all, we're gonna be coming back to this real soon. I promise y'all, real soon. But I'm out of here. Thank y'all again for hanging out with me, and I'm gonna catch y'all later on. See ya.